Forewarned weather with Ashlee Baracy.
The good news is if you are camping this weekend, the weather couldn't be nicer. I mean, we have low humidity, sunshine. I mean, the only issue will be the fact that that air quality alert lasts through Saturday, but it will lift at midnight. Sunday will just be picture perfect. So it's really a great weekend ahead. So we will be warming up next week. We're taking a little dip today again, and then we start to gradually climb out of it, but just a little bit below average all the way through the weekend before more seasonal conditions work their way in by the next work week. So here's that air quality advisory. Now through Saturday, it's for all of southeastern Michigan and beyond up into the UP. And so this is the exact same alert that we were talking about yesterday, but it did get extended to go through your Saturday. So the air quality index right now, unhealthy for sensitive groups. So for those that might be suffering from an upper respiratory illness or asthma, you're going to notice this more so than some other folks. But even still, I mean, you can hear in our studio some coughs and things like that that's been going on. And it all has to do with the fact that we have this Canadian wildfire smoke that continuously pushes in. Now, here's the deal. We likely will get a little reprieve today, and I'm going to show you that with our computer model, but we're still anticipating another kind of plume of that smoke before we completely push it out of here. So for now, Monroe not dealing with quite as thick of a smoke layer, but this is going to push south throughout the day. Air quality moderate to, I would say, kind of poor, not to hazardous yet, but across southeastern Michigan, closer to that hazardous range as you work your way farther west towards Minneapolis and down towards St. Louis. So this is what I'm talking about here. As the day goes on, we're going to push that smoke down to the south. So we get that little bit of improvement, but watch how this is kind of wrapping around where we have a high pressure system. And so that's going to allow for another plume to sink on down as we head into Saturday. There's that high pressure right here. So it all has to do with the motion, the clockwise rotation around high pressure. So it'll bring us some clearer skies, but it will also bring us the smoke. So it's going to be filtered sunshine, if that makes sense. Let's recap last month, because this year, July of this year, we more than doubled our average monthly rainfall for July. We should have had about 3.5 inches according to what would be normal, and we had more than 7 inches of rain. So it was a wet one out there. Last year we had a deficit. We only got about 2 inches of rain in July. Our precipitation outlook for August a bit better. So Climate Prediction Center putting us near average with the precip and just slightly above average with the temperature outlook for August. Our temperatures, though, dipping this morning. We are starting off cooler by about 5 degrees, putting widespread 50s across the board. You can see that haze right now over our downtown skyline, but 77 the afternoon high. And so a great day to be outside if you can contend with some of that smoke, but we'll be in the low 80s this weekend. And then we will have more seasonal conditions working their way in early next week. Rain chances not until next Wednesday.
Now, forewarned weather with Exact Track 4D.
Well, we're finally tracking beautiful conditions weather-wise, and then we have the air quality that is just not cooperating, and it comes from that wildfire smoke. And so for today, heading into tomorrow, due to more plumes of wildfire smoke expected, our air quality will remain unhealthy, at the very least for sensitive groups, and we could have time periods where it's unhealthy for all. And so I don't want to say don't get outside, because it is gorgeous, but you might just want to be smart about it and kind of limit the amount of time where you spend outside. But if you are in one of those sensitive groups that have asthma or an upper respiratory illness, it's best to stay indoors until this does start to subside. So the air quality advisory was extended to last all the way through your Saturday. And we do have that thicker wildfire smoke coming out of Canada, and that pushes all the way west into the northern plains. The worst air quality is still up to our northwest and down to the southwest, and that's just because of the direction of the air and how it's coming in, but nonetheless moderate to major pollutants across the area. The culprit, high pressure, and here's the little catch-22 with it. High pressure clears out our clouds. It brings us blue skies, dry conditions, and so that's what's giving us great weather. However, where the high pressure is situated, you get clockwise rotation around it. So then it's bringing all that smoke from Canada, boom, right into our neighborhoods. And so as long as that high pressure stays just to our northwest, well, that's when we're going to continuously see that smoke. So we get a little brief break from it throughout the day, but then we will have more of that wrapping around that high heading into Saturday as it pushes more into our area. Today's forecast this afternoon, 77 the afternoon high, mostly sunny skies, though it'll be very filtered by that smoke, so it might even look a little overcast to you, but that's not cloud cover, it's that smoke layer. So we'll have hazy sunshine. We're starting a nice dry stretch, car wash type of weather. You get your money's worth today. It'll last all the way into next week. However, that was not the case in July. Now that we have flipped the calendar, we can talk stats for July at Metro Airport. We picked up over 7 inches of rain last month. That's more than double of what our average rainfall should be for the month of July, and certainly a lot more than last year. We have more than 5 inches compared to last July. So it was a wet one. Precipitation outlook for August. This is issued from the Climate Prediction Center. Keeps us near average with precip, so that won't be too shabby, but slightly above average with those temperatures as we are rounding out kind of that last month before we go back to school. So maybe you're traveling up north this weekend. Let's talk about that up north forecast. Starting here, though, we'll be right around 80 degrees this weekend. Feeling great, lots of sunshine. We just got to get that smoke out of here. Unfortunately, you're still going to encounter the smoke if you travel north. So up towards Alpena, Rogers City, plan for 70s, getting to either side of 80 into the weekend, but smoke for today and tomorrow. Same situation in Mackinac Island, where we do eventually reach 80 Sunday with some clearer skies. Then Traverse City, mid 70s today, low 80s Saturday, Sunday, but we will push out that smoke layer as we head into your Sunday. So 7-day forecast here across Metro Detroit. Seasonal by early next week. Next chance of rain, not until Wednesday.